So, Mark, what can you say after that deal's done?
We are going to have a full press conference Monday at 1 p.m. down at the County Administration Building, 101 East Main Street, 3rd floor. We're going to do a PowerPoint. It's probably going to take 45 minutes or so. We're going to walk through a lot of details that you did not hear in court today. As you know, on a plea like this, we simply state the bare facts. We intend to do our best to give the public some better understanding of what was going on behind the scenes as this tragedy unfolded. Today's result happened pretty quickly. The defense approached us Tuesday morning and inquired about life without parole. We brought in Laura the next morning, Wednesday morning, and had a very lengthy discussion with her. I cannot state to any level of significance the inordinate trauma that she has experienced. We have met with her 6 or 8 times, and it is painful to her. It is difficult for my assistant prosecutors, difficult for hardened, seasoned law enforcement. And my position became fairly clear to me throughout this process, and most recently Wednesday when we discussed this plea offer with Laura, that doing anything further would be actually an act of cruelty towards her. We had prepared her to testify. She was ready to testify next week. Alexis was ready to testify. But the trauma that these two experienced that day and continue to experience on a daily basis. My job, as I saw it this week, was to relieve them of that additional agony. And that's why we are here today.
So it's those things considered, because I mean, you were adamant early on that you were going to seek the death penalty in this case.
That's right. That's right.
People are not going to understand that a man who killed his 3 sons is not going to face the death penalty. The public is going to have a hard time understanding that.
Well, I'm happy to answer all these questions. Any question like this. Initially, and we indicted him with aggravating circumstances for the death penalty. And he will die in prison. Will he die sooner than he would die otherwise? The last 3 individuals in Clermont County will receive the death sentence. Jerry Lawson around 1988. He died in 2015 after 27 years in prison. Michael Webb, who committed an arson back in 89, killed his 3-year-old son. He died in prison in 2022 after 31 years on death row. So these things aren't a certainty as to when execution may occur. One thing I know is a certainty is that Chad Doerman will die in prison.
Do you believe that he suffers from any type of mental illness? You talk about prior calculation and design, the discussion about him wanting to kill the boys or thinking about it since October, the 8 months prior. But then there are 3 experts who evaluated him. One, I guess, was one of your experts as well.
Let me defer until Monday when we have the press conference, because we're going to have that all laid out for you. All right?
There is a certain amount of satisfaction that the public would get from a trial to see this play out. That's not going to happen.
I'm not sure what the public satisfaction would be in watching one of the worst things I've ever seen. Again, as we were preparing this case initially for the trial that you all know was moved from July to the serious mental illness hearing that was scheduled for August 5th, these are grown, strong adults. These are dispatchers. These are firefighters. These are police officers who all cry. It is, again, agony is the best phrase I can come up with, the best word I can use. And the public is entitled to see what happened here. And they're going to see it. And you're going to hear Laura's 911 call. You'll hear nothing more chilling in your entire life. She's fighting to save her children.
Now, you talk about how grueling this was on everybody. Did you have anyone at any point in this have to step away from working on this case because of how gruesome this was?
No, we did not. We are dedicated professionals, and as you can see, Laura Barron Allen, Katie Terpstra, Clay Tharp, and my entire staff, Stephanie Ross, they worked hand in hand with us, with the entire staff, with the Doerman family to do the best we could to make this as easy a process on them as they can, as we could make it, and at the same time be overly prepared and ready to win this case at trial.
How hard was it for you to accept this plea deal?
It was not hard. It was the right decision to do justice for these little boys, for Clayton, for Hunter, and for Chase. And part of that justice is by giving their mom and their sister some relief. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.